Hey y'all, welcome back to another review of Life of Chess for General Hospital, June 16, 2025. Okay, so first things first, let me know your thoughts on today's new episode down below. Hold on, let me turn the subscribers only comments on so the spam won't come through. Let's see. Well, I think this helps with the spam. There you go. But yeah, like I said, first thing first, let me know your thoughts on today's episode. I got a question because I'm confused now. I'm confused. So at the end of the episode, we saw that Brooklyn met up with Marco or whatever, and he gave her Britt's file. And he was asking her what she wanted with a dead woman. And she said she wanted to prove that Lulu's not half the mother she thinks she is. So what's she finna do with that? What they gonna do? I already had heard that the lady that plays Britt's supposed to come back. But people are speculating that she's gonna be playing a lookalike. That Brooklyn's gonna hire a lookalike basically to taunt Lulu and mess with her mind. And I was like, what? What? Have y'all heard anything? Let me know down below. Hey. So I'm glad that Brooklyn slapped Lulu. She deserved it, and Drew would do whatever it takes to get with those kids back. Yep, exactly. I expected her to slap her, but I thought Lulu was gonna slap her back. She did not, because Mexican got in between them. But yeah, and in regards to Drew, I was like, it's been time for them to handle him, because he won't go away. He would not go away. Then Martin over here helping him and stuff. I was like, it's been time for him to go. But okay, so who we gonna start with first? Let me get my notes, y'all. We're gonna start with Brandon. Carla was just thanking Brandon for helping in regards to Michael, and she was just talking to him about Michael recovery and stuff like that. How it wouldn't have happened without him. Wasn't it because he the one helped him get into that treatment place? But yeah, I said wait until she finds out what he has been up to. That's another secret that needs to come out. But yeah, she was just thanking him. She ends up giving him a gift, and inside the gift, what was that? I was about to say a plunger. I was about to say a plunger. I was like, girl, there ain't no plunger. What is it? A wrench? I don't know what it was. Either way it go, she gave him a gift or whatever. And she did make a comment about how, she loved her kids and it's nothing she want to do for them. Yeah, he about to find out. He about to find out for sure. He definitely is. Let me scan this. Carly talks to Brandon about Michael, how none of it would have been possible without him. I think that's all that happened with them. Let me make sure I'm scanning these notes right fast. Yeah, I think that's all they was talking about. Who we got next? Gio, Emma, Dalton. So Gio was just talking to her about being at the pool and stuff like that. She went over there to Dalton. They started talking. And I said, she gonna need help and Josh gonna need help. Both of them over here. They gonna need help. But okay, let's see. Emma was looking at Dalton, and Gio was asking her what's going on. I think Dalton ends up telling Emma he's impressed by her, and he invites her to come by the office. And I said, she finna walk in. They said that she's supposed to get the upper hand, and that's what it is right there. Right there. She done walked in on them, and dude gonna kiss her. Vaughn kissed Carly Jr. And I said, either way it goes, she still could tell. She could tell that, but I don't know. They might tell her something to keep her, or have to do something to keep her from snitching. But yeah, what else happened? I already said Emma was looking at Dalton. Josh was downloading Dalton files on the computer or whatever. At first, I thought she was going to get caught. Then she ended up downloading or getting the little files up off his phone. And I was like, girl, some type of way. What if he got cameras in there? Y'all know they never had cameras. But I said they going to think it's suspicious that janitor dude, that Vaughn always around and stuff. But yeah, let's see. Gio, Emma, he ends up telling her, if you need my help or whatever, he's available or whatever. He asked her, was there anything that he could do? Did y'all see he heard Carly and Jason talking about Drew? And I think Carly said something about she'll do whatever it takes to protect the kids and stuff like that, to make sure Drew doesn't get his hands on the kids. And they showed Gio looking. I was like, they said he's supposed to be overhearing something. But I said, what was the anybody know? Let me know down below. Let me see. Let me scan these notes. Let's see. Josh and Vaughn, like I said, she was downloading the files. She ends up seeing that there was nothing on the files or whatever. That's when they started talking about getting his phone. She was like, she gonna do it. He was trying to convince her. Sounded like he was trying to convince her to do whatever it takes to get the doggone phone. I said, Emma already over here doing it. I said, she already over here doing it. She don't need to. I said, there ain't nothing that Josh can do that Emma ain't already doing, because he has his eyes on Emma. Remember at the club, I think it was the Savoy or whatever, Josh was over here trying to talk to him and stuff like that, and he didn't give her no type of time. He was too busy eyeing Emma. That's what led people to think that they had something going on over there in was it LA or wherever they was at first. Let's see what else. Let's see. Tracy Martin. She still over here think Drew care about that doggone name. I mean, at first he did, but now this man is over here. I don't know what he's up to, but he's up to something. Obviously, that has become obvious. But yeah, she over here. She ends up meeting up with Martin. They end up meeting up or whatever. What did Martin say? Tracy said she's not paying Martin. She wants to give Drew the Quartermain name, so set it up. He was like, no, that doesn't work for him. That doesn't work for them. And in exchange, she wanted Drew to tell the police that she didn't do it and he could have the name. I was like, girl, you must don't know who you messing with. This dude over here, I don't know what he is. What he is. I don't know what he's up to, but he up to something, and that ain't gonna work. I said, I wouldn't even make no deal with him anyway. He already trying to get you locked up. I said, he can't be trusted. When they gonna realize this? I'm surprised Sonny and them. I said, they need to do their job. Don't they supposed to be monsters? They should have been got rid of Drew. I said, what kind of monsters are they? He done got rid of an FBI agent. Might as well get rid of the congressman too. Might as well. He over here doing whatever he want to do. Talking about something. I see now. I need to protect her. You the reason why she over here losing it now. What you talking about? Talking about I need to protect her. They something about they had power or something like that. And I was like, dude, give it a rest. You don't even really want the kids. You don't. Let me see what else. Let's see. I think I wrote this all the way. Tracy and Martin. Like I said, Tracy was saying how she's not paying Martin. She want to give Drew the Quartermain name in exchange. He tells the police that she didn't do it. That's when Martin was like, he's not gonna do that. That doesn't work for them. Well, he wanted her to have a press conference welcoming Drew back to the family. I was like, dude, you tripping? You tripping? And what else? Was it something else he said? I don't think he said he was gonna give her time to think about it or whatever. And I was like, she got to come up with another way. She got to come up with another way. I said, you got everybody in town mad. He got Tracy mad, Carly and them mad, Sonny and them mad. I said, Curtis and them. I said they could have been and got rid of him. They could have been got rid of him. Jason and Drew. Now we get to that part. So Jason was hearing Drew out. He told my son he want him to take a proposal to Michael and stuff like that. And Jason was just going off. Now I do agree with something that Drew said, and I hate to say it because we don't like Drew like that. We don't like this Drew anyways. But he told Jason, basically, he's like, did you even check on Danny and Jake? I said, ooh. Somebody said, you still putting Carly and Michael them first? I said, he didn't tell no lie about that. And we was seeing him actually hang out with Danny and spend more time with him, but lately it has been Michael this, Carly that, or whatever. But yeah, so you got a point there, Drew. That's the only thing I'm gonna agree with you on. Cause when they first showed how he was hanging out with Danny and stuff like that, I was really hoping we got to see Jake, but I think Jake went out of town for an art program or something like that. I said it's about time for it to come back. It's about time for him to come back, isn't it? But yeah, so Jason ends up telling Drew that he's the problem. He was like, you the problem. He was just telling him that, and he over here talking about something. Let me see. Hold on. Jason said Drew is poison to the kids, and until Willow sees it, it'll be no compromise. And that's what he was like. That's when he would start talking about Michael won't keep the kids. He stole them. He may have stolen the kids. I said, how he steal his own kids? It make it make sense. How he stole you trying to steal his kids? Then talking about he gonna use everything in Martin's arsenal or whatever he said to make sure that they get the kids back. And I was like, dude, you can't take this. I'm waiting on them to do something because this is what's that? I think somebody below. I don't know, y'all. Hold on. He gonna tell Jason that Michael stole his own kids. I said, shut up, Thomas. He stole he stole her kids. I said it wrong. He stole the kids from their own mother. I said, is you cool? What they said, is you cool? What you talking about, Drew? What's wrong with him? But yeah, what else? What else did this man say? I already said Jason said Drew poison to the kids, and until Willow sees it, it'll be no compromise. And I said, well, it won't be no compromise because the way they showed her on that promo, she looks so out of it. He's supposed to, spoiler alert, he's supposed to be telling her that they should get married. They said on Friday's episode she's supposed to make an announcement because she has a big decision to make, and she makes it. She finna marry this man. I'm assuming that Nina gonna finally tell her something, but at this point, it look like it's too late. I think somebody said with them getting married, that gives him power or something like that. But that don't mean that something would have to happen to Michael either way go, wouldn't it? I don't know. I really don't know how it works. But yeah, they finna get married. And I was like, how? Because Martin told him that it's one way, that one way to handle the situation in regards to kids, and I'm assuming is to get married. But I'm like, how would that work still? How would that work still? I don't understand. But what else? Let's see. I already said Drew said Michael won't keep the kids. He stole them. Um, that's when. Let me find it. Let me find it. Jason tells Drew he'll never get Michael kids. And I said, okay, because what he thought this was. I said, why they haven't handled him yet? This is what I wrote down. Drew said Jason still choosing Carl and Michael now. He was like, how Danny and Jake doing? I said, you know what, Drew? We agree on that little thing because of what? I said, he back doing whatever they want and stuff. But somebody got to. I said somebody has to, cause Drew over here think he ain't did nothing in the doggone office, cause he too busy chasing around Willow. I said, what's his end game? What is his end game? And I feel like Jason was starting to talk to Carly about it, cause they was when they was at the pool, he was trying to tell her that Drew's not gonna give up, and she was like, it's nothing he could do because Michael got custody. The judge said, when the last time anybody ever cared about that? When had the last time? Drew don't care about that. Drew been over here doing whatever he wants since he got out of jail. But yeah, but he was trying to explain it to her, and he said something. I don't know if he was asking it as a question or what, but it was some type of way he put it. I don't know if anybody else saw that, but I can't remember exactly what he said. But it kind of seemed like he was trying to figure out what was Drew's end game. And she feels like he only doing that so he could look like a hero in Willow's eyes. And I said, I partially agree, but I think it's something else. I think he's up to something. I don't know what it is, but we're going to find out. But yeah, he was like, you need to be worried about your own kids. And I said, true that? I said, true that? But we know Jason ain't going to. He always has put them first. We finally got to see him be a father and stuff like that, but it seems like it's on the back burner as of right now. But I do like him defending Michael or whatever, because Drew once again think he can do whatever he want to do. What else happened with them? I think Jason. That's when Jason was saying how he'll never get Michael kids, and he was like, "You could call me on that. You could call me on that." And he ends up leaving, and Drew over here to my son. Yeah, I was about to leave town. I was about to leave and tell Willow end things with her and all this other stuff so she could get her kids. You weren't about to do nothing. You weren't about to do dilly freaking squad. The way you been running behind her, it seemed like you had this set in motion from the jump. I was like, he know doggone well he wasn't about to leave no town. Let's see what else. Who else we got? Let's see. We already said Jason and Drew. Anna, Chase, Dante. These fools done got locked up. They got locked up. I knew they was going to get locked up. She put them in a jail cell. They had to give in their weapon, their badge, and everything. I said, look at y'all. Look what you did. Look what y'all did. Dante Chase got locked up. She told them to sit there and figure it out because they partners and stuff like that. They used to act like partners. They need to act like partners again. Chase was defending his wife. I said, right on, defend her. Chase ends up telling Dante how his loyalty is to Brooklyn. He stand by what she did. And he was like, what about me? Stabbed me in the back. And just trying to get Chase to see that he had a right to know. And I still say, like, I feel like originally, I agree with Dante when he said, when she was a teenager, he expected that or whatever. But once she become an adult and start sharing the same house as him and stuff like that, why didn't she tell? And I said the same thing, especially when Lulu found out. When Lulu found out, then she told Chase. Then she told Tracy. Then Tracy told Jason. I was like, yeah, he had a right to know. If everybody in that moment was gonna find out, he definitely had a right to know. So I could understand why he's upset. But Chase was basically, he was just defending his wife and saying, it was her right. She had a right to choose and she chose, and I stand by her. And they was just talking about Gio and how he reacted. And I agree with Chase. Chase told him, hold on. Chase told him, he's like, the reason why, your relationship with Gio is messed up and you can't, just talk to him and stuff like that is because of the Rocco situation. And I said, yeah, give it to him. I said, give it to him. He need to hear it. I said, go on, tell him, because I've been talking about this. I was like, he was like, it's how you came down hard on him and stuff, like it was his fault. I said, exactly. He's like, even your mama said that you went too far. And I said, true that, or whatever. He's like, you don't understand because you were on the father. I said, I knew that was coming too. I knew that was coming. He was like, man, I'm sorry. Man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. He said, you saying a lot of stuff you don't mean. But yeah, I was like, I expected him to say something like that, because they always do. But he did apologize. But then they agreed to, squash it, or at least in regards to working together, how to separate the two. And I said, we'll see how long that lasts. What else? Who else we got? Let's see. Brooklyn, Lulu, Maxie. Here you go, y'all. Y'all been waiting on it. Y'all been saying how y'all want Brooklyn to slap Lulu, and she slapped her. She slapped her so she slapped her hard than it was. I seen that this morning on the promo. She slapped her. I said, well, y'all got y'all wish. She definitely slapped her. But so they still talking. Brooklyn ends up telling Lulu she could have ended it right there. Hold on. Brooklyn was telling Lulu that she could have ended it right there, but she being selfish. I said, true that. She definitely is, because she was over here willing to, squash it, let it go, even though you done did what you did and everything. She told my son, I don't owe you no apology. If anybody, she owed Gio an apology or whatever. It look like she's supposed to be apologizing to him on tomorrow's episode. Doesn't look like he wants to hear anything. He just really angry right now. I said, I don't know when he gonna end up getting over it, but yeah, as of right now, he just really angry. Hold on, y'all. But yeah, they just arguing and stuff like that. What happened? What made her? Let me see. Let me scan it. Hold on. What made her say? What made her slap her? I think she was telling her how she lied. She lied. That's all she do is lie. Telling Brooklyn. Lulu was telling Brooklyn how all she do is lie and stuff like that. And she basically had a problem. She said Lulu said she don't keep secrets from her kids or whatever. Said Brooklyn lied. No wonder Gio wants nothing to do with her, and that's when Brooklyn slapped her. And then Lulu was trying to get at Brooklyn, and Macy got in between. Maxie ends up saying, go home and stuff like that, and she left. She ends up leaving or whatever. Then Maxie puts Lulu on notice. She ends up telling her that she hurt Brooklyn's child. She has to own that. So that's why she's going to go apologize or try to apologize to G on tomorrow's episode, y'all. And now Brooklyn is, I don't understand what she doing. She got Brit's files from Marco, and he asking her what she want to do, what she want with a dead woman's files. And I said, I want to know the same thing. And people are speculating that she's gonna hire somebody that looks like Brit to mess with Lulu's head, and I'm confused by that. What happened between them? I kind of remember. Did she steal Lulu's child, something like that? What did she do? And try to pass it off as her own? Was it Rocco? Well, it had to be Rocco, because Valentine had the other one, Charlotte. What happened? Let me know, y'all, because I was like, what? I don't understand. How's she gonna mess with her? How's she gonna mess with her? Because she said she wanted to prove that Lulu is not the mama she thinks she is. So how's she gonna do that with the doggone files? And not just that, it's like, I think it's been proven already that she ain't had the mama that she claims she is. Where is Charlotte? They done did all this to take Charlotte from Valentine, and we ain't seen the girl. We ain't seen the girl. We ain't even we barely see Rocco. We be seeing Rocco. Well, I take that back. We haven't been seeing her with Rocco like that. But yeah, I was like, you don't need to dig up no dead woman. That's a dig up no dead woman. We don't need to get no files on no dead woman. We ain't seen her. This is like, what is it? What is it? Remember on the Bold and Beautiful when Hope was chasing around, trying to get Douglas and stuff like that, but we never saw Beth. We never saw her with Beth or whatever. That's exactly what it's like right there. Let me see. Who else we got? Let's see. Anna and Brennan. I said, Brennan, he trying to distract her. He distracting her. So he comes or whatever. He want to talk privately. So he ends up telling her, hold on, let me flip. He ends up telling her about the second attempt on Sonny's life. And she was just asking what happened. He ends up saying it was somebody that worked for WSB and stuff like that. Did he say that? I think I might be telling the story. I don't know. But, and I was like, why would he be telling her that now? Come on now. I said he trying to distract her so she won't be focused on Dalton. So she brought it up. She was like, if this happened months ago, why are you just telling me and stuff like that? He told her something. And I was like, he trying to distract her. So right after he told her everything, she was like, did you look into Dawson? He told me, yeah, I sent it to your email. As soon as he walked out, she was like, liar. I said the same thing, old lying tail. I said, trying to distract her. I said, you don't know. She already got Jason on the case. I said, she already got Jason on the case. And I said, I still wonder, Brendan already said something about he wants the little stuff that Dalton working on. But do y'all think he's connected to Sonny's shootings and stuff, or the attempt on his life? Because I'm kind of getting that vibe. I don't know, y'all. I just know he hiding something. That's obvious. But yeah, I was like, it's something about Brendan. I don't know what it is, but it's something. And Carly gonna be upset when she finds out what he been doing behind her back. I wonder what's his plan the entire time. Hold on. But yeah, Josh and Dalton. I think he came back looking for, no, he came in first. What did he tell her? What was they talking about? Let me see. If I wrote it down, Dalton wouldn't let her. She asked to see the lab or whatever. He said not right now or whatever. And that's when she hid his phone, and she ended up getting some information out of his phone. I don't know if it's what she looking for or they looking for. And I said Vaughn always he be watching her. Like I don't know what y'all think about Vaughn. I said he be watching her because she asked him what he was doing there. I think Brandon did say something about watch her or look into it or something like that. Or was that about Anna? It might have been about Anna. Let me see. Josh Dalton, we already talked about that. Carly, Jason. Jason ends up telling Carly that Drew's not giving up. How he wanted him to take a proposal to Michael. What else did he tell her? That's when he was trying to warn her, let her know that he's not giving up. She told my son the judge already made her decision, so it's nothing he could do. I said, shoot, he already over here trying to do something, but I just want to know what them getting married is going to accomplish. Because if the judge already ruled, then what they mean? What does that mean? And not only that, y'all know how she had filed paperwork so that Drew can get custody of the kids if something happens to her. Wait a minute. Is that it right there? If something happened to her? I said, how is it legal? They brought up in court how, she dismissed Michael's custodial rights. So how would they be able to get filed then? But yeah, anyway, somebody said that, once again, I said this multiple times, but somebody said that they think it's about ELQ. He's trying to get the ELQ shares, but we'll see, y'all. Let's see if anything was said about Jason. And Jason tells Carly Drew's not giving up. That's when Carly was saying that, she'll do whatever it takes to stop him. And Gio overheard them. And I was like, why did they have him overhear the conversation? I don't know. But let's see what else we got. Drew and Martin. Drew ends up saying he not leaving town, and they going to war. And he gonna use every weapon he can to take them down. I said, oh my goodness. And he was asking Martin if he has anything or knows anything. And he's like, there may be one thing. So people are speculating that that's the whole proposal situation. Because once again, this morning they dropped the promo where Drew goes to I'm about to say the Carly. Drew goes to Willow and says they should get married. And I was like, look at her. I was like, look at Willow in that promo, y'all. I said, she looks so out of it. I also just seen somebody say they think that Drew is gonna have Nina. Did y'all see that? They think Drew is gonna have Nina and Portia grab Daisy and switch her out or whatever. I said, what? I said, they crazy. They actually listen to him. They'll just have to go down because ain't no way. Cause I said, either way it go, they'll be going to jail. Well, cause Nina and Portia both poison. We're gonna say poison Drew. So they'll be going to jail for that. Portia over here changing test results and stuff. So y'all gonna add kidnapping? I was like, nah, I don't know. I ain't seen nothing about that. I just seen Sasha's alarm. I seen the promo where they was like, I think she looked worried or something. And somebody was telling her something. They show her holding a baby and people saying that's not Daisy. So we'll see, y'all. I have been hearing that Willow's supposed to be grabbed Daisy. I haven't heard anything about Drew aside from that. Let's see what else. Marco in Brooklyn, we already talked about how she got Britt's files and she's like she wanted to prove that Lulu isn't half the mother that she claims she is, but we already know because she don't even be with Rocco like that. What Brooklyn said? Brooklyn said you ever since you got up from that cat now. I said Brooklyn. Ain't that what she said, y'all? What else? Josh and Vaughn, they end up talking about getting the files and stuff like that. That's when Emma comes in. And Vaughn kisses Jocelyn too, make it seem like they was in there kissing. They supposed to be telling her, not to say anything. And that's why they said that she's gonna get the upper hand. So we'll see. And lastly, Gio and Lulu, but we already talked about that. She was like she owed him an apology, but don't look like he gonna want to hear it. I think that's everything. Oh, Anna had ended up getting a boot on Dalton's car, and he had to go in or whatever. I think that was it. Let me see. Lulu said she don't keep secrets from her kids. Chase thinks Gio just overwhelmed. Yeah, that's everything. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, deuces.